We are here at Cuyahoga Valley National Park. We're spending the week and we're going to explore, and we'll bring you along to see the attractions and let you know what we think. We just made it to the Boston, is it Mills Visitor Center? Parking was really tight. We did find this overflow lot by the trailhead down the road a bit then, so be prepared. We are here Labor Day weekend, so it might be a little busier because of that, but parking was really rough. So we have a little bit of a walk here now. We're gonna walk through. It's like this cool little village area, and then the train station's right by the visitor center. So we're gonna take a little walk and check out the visitor center. We just came across from the overflow parking. There's a cute little gift shop and ice cream and stuff along the Towpath Trail over there. And now we're gonna cross this bridge to get over to the visitor center. You can see the visitor center behind there in the white building. Really nice, spacious visitor center. Very busy today on the holiday weekend, but we enjoyed the visitor center. We are walking now in the middle of the rail tracks down towards the Peninsula Village. We're hoping to find another visitor center down here, although I didn't see it driving in, but we'll see if we can find it. Here's a view of the little walk here from the overflow parking down towards the Peninsula Village.
Mommy, why is there steps?
Kids are having fun walking on the tracks here. We're gonna ride the train a little later in the week. And here's the Peninsula Visitor Center. It's pretty tiny in there. A few little gift things. No stamp for my book. But it was cool. They have a live tracking GPS of the train. You can kind of see where it's running, when, and we got a train schedule. So it's a cute little kind of train station building. Small visitor center though. If you're really looking for a lot of information, I'd say hit the Boston Mills. This is the start of the Ledges Trail here. We just came to kind of where the trail turns off, and hopefully we're going to start seeing the rocks soon. It's a really nice, easy, pretty level grade so far trail here. We're starting to see some ledges here. Pretty cool. There is some like climbing up and down a little bit over roots and rocks, but it's been a really cool trail so far, and the kids are loving it. The rock formations are really cool. And here we found some big ledges we're exploring. This is just past the overlook point of the trail. Pretty cool.
I'm not even scared for this, Mommy.
It's a little bit high, but the girls are being pretty cautious. That's a wrap on the Ledges Trail for us. We just came around the end of the loop. It was a really cool trail. Highly recommend. It took us longer. It probably took us about 3 hours, but we had the little kids with us and explored a bunch into some of the crevices behind things and took our time. So I wouldn't say it was like a real easy level grade hike by any means. I wouldn't bring a stroller or anything like that, even though we saw one down there. But I wouldn't say it was a real hard hike either. It was a nice balance of hills and rocks and roots, and really neat hike. We really enjoyed it. So here's where we parked and started. We went up here over this little trail to start the ledges, and then we walked all the way down around here past the overlook, all the way up past the stone steps and back over, and we're done. And today we're doing the
Brandywine Falls.
We're gonna see the falls and do the Gorge Loop Trail here, hopefully. Here we go to try to see a falls. Cool little boardwalk here at the beginning. Pretty cool trail, huh?
Imagine I fell down there.
And you'd be very hurt. Here it is, Brandywine Falls. What do you think of it?
Good.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Look, there's like a big tree that fell down in it, or a log there. And now we turned off onto the Gorge Trail around the bend, and it's a little bit rockier and very nice trail, very shaded. You can hear the water along the trail, really peaceful feeling. Really enjoying it so far. And we found a spot along the trail where you can easily, down a tiny little side part, get down to the water. So we're gonna make sure we touch it. Also, this cool long bridge on the trail we're gonna cross. It's long and skinny, kind of fun. We found a millipede along the hiking trail. He's pretty cool. He's moving with a ton of little legs there.
Yeah, and even in its front.
Crazy.
Yeah.
There are some steep steps here near the end, about a quarter mile from the parking lot. We're making our way up. We just finished the Brandywine Falls Gorge Loop Trail. Highly recommend it. Really enjoyed that trail. We went to the falls first and then around and back out. It's a loop about 1.5 miles. It's not level the whole way, but it's a pretty easy, other than a few steep step areas that do take your breath a little bit. But really nice, peaceful, scenic trail. Highly recommend doing that one. And now we're here at
Covered Bridge.
We're at the Everett Covered Bridge. We're gonna check it out and eat our lunch here. And we found the bridge here. We're gonna eat lunch and skip some rocks. Let's walk over under it.
Mommy,
Follow Daddy.
Mommy, it gets pretty deep.
Girls are having fun trying to skip rocks. We're right underneath the bridge here.
Got two. I did it.
There we go through the bridge pretending to be horses. We got to hear one go on top of us while we were eating below. And here we go. Here's the Everett Covered Bridge. We just walked through it a few times and hung out behind it, skipping some rocks and eating lunch.
We heard a horse.
And we heard a horse go on top of us while we were down there eating. It was pretty cool. Nice covered bridge. Seems like a lot of people hang out under it. Some local people too with their kids. Seems like it's a hot spot. Nice place to play in the creek a little bit. If you walk through the bridge, there's some entry trails down to the water to enjoy. Well, we stopped at the Blue Heron viewing area here, thinking it was kind of like a whole big thing, but it's just kind of a little pull off the road. One little sign here, and Seth is really into birds, so we wanted to see some, but not sure this is going to turn into much. So it's not much of a stop. It's a little pull off, and I guess you see blue herons in the area, but. Well.
What?
Well.
You see giant birds' nests for the big great blue herons. I didn't see any of the birds though.
I want to see those.
Alright, a little bit of a letdown.
No, I want to see those.
We are here at campsite 31 in the Deer Run, I think part it's called, of Woodside Lake Campground in Ohio. We're getting bikes ready, tires pumped up to go do the Towpath Trail in the national park tomorrow. And it is homemade pizza night. I cook the dough ahead of time, bring it frozen, and we use the toaster oven there because I'm not a big fan of propane cooking and using the camper's propane oven. But here's a view of our site. There was a built-in deck when we got here that we thought would really irritate us, but we love it, and our camper fit real great beside it. It must be an old seasonal site, but now it's an overnight site. We're only here for a week, but we get to enjoy a deck, so that's been pretty great. Overall, we like where our site is here, and it's been a good site for us. Girls, do you like this campsite?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like the best about it?
We get a porch.
Yeah, we get a deck that we were definitely not expecting. Is that what you all like the best? Yeah, girls have found it pretty fun that we get to act like seasonal campers for a week and have this nice deck. This morning we're going to try to ride the Towpath Trail, and our goal here is to get on the train at the Boston Mills train station. It's supposed to come here at 9:35, and then we're going to ride it down to the Botsam station and then bike our way back up to the truck here. So we have about 15 minutes to kill because we didn't want to miss the train. So we're gonna wait, and says they'll load our bikes right on, and then we'll go about 9 miles down the trail and get back off. And the Junior Ranger book tells them to check off skipping in a yellow train station. So here we are skipping. Here we go, we're flagging down the train so we can get on. Here it comes. We made it onto the train. Here we go. Here we go. We made it onto the train. You having fun? Wow, look at that. It's a river. This is a pretty fun train ride. Yeah, oh, there's that might be the Towpath Trail that we're gonna ride bike on. We'll see.
Wait, where was it?
Down there, back a little ways. Oh, that's not very pretty now for a little. And there goes the train. Here we're off at the Botsam station. Taking a break along the trail here. We're going to check out this Slay's farm market that they told us some about at the visitor center and said we might be able to get some treats here. So we'll see. And we got some yummy treats here at Slay's. Some cookies and slushies to fuel the rest of the ride. What do you think, girls?
Good.
So girls, did we do it?
Yeah.
We did it. Mission accomplished. How many miles did we ride?
9.
Just over 9, like 9.25 miles. We ended here at the Boston Mills. This is not the visitor center, the store. And our truck is parked right over by the visitor center. We rode the train down to Botsam and rode just over 9 miles back. And we did it. Good job, girls. Here's the front of the Canal Center. We're gonna go inside then, but here's really cool. You can see the old boat lock here and how it used to work. Hopefully we're gonna learn a little more inside. Yeah. And we found in the Canal Center we can put on some clothes to look like they did back in the canal days. So we have a boat captain and a boatman, and I think it's working woman's apron, and a working woman from the canal days. Look at that. We've been transported. That was a really cool center. There's lots of neat exhibits in there. We learned a lot. The lock demonstrations are not happening right now because they have a problem with, I guess, the pump, that they don't have enough water in it. So we didn't get to see that. But highly recommend stopping here. We learned a lot about the canal era and how the canal was built and how it works and the lock system. Really neat stop. And they actually had passport stamps in here too, which is a bonus for us. We love collecting those. So we're here at Cuyahoga Valley National Park in Ohio. We stayed here for 8 nights till we leave tomorrow, 7 full days. We kind of took a different approach than some of our other trips where we've hit a couple parks in one trip and then just had shorter stays at each one. We kind of wanted to just slow down and be able to leisurely take our time with this trip and just have more capacity to explore the park and some of the things it had to offer. So we've been here for a good stretch. I feel like we've seen most of the major points and activities in the park. General thoughts, pros, cons, whatever about the park?
It was a very kind of unique park, not your typical kind of you're driving all around, you're in the park and seeing different things. It's very thin, like mile wide by maybe 70 miles long or so, kind of following the Cuyahoga River, the old Ohio Erie Canal, that Towpath Trail. Very pretty when you can either drive the byway, the Riverview Road, or take the train down through, or ride your bike kind of along that kind of path along the national park.
Park definitely had a more metro feel to it, though. It's actually surrounded by all these like metro parks, and some of them are even sort of in the national park boundaries, but not part of the national park. That was a little confusing to us. We never quite figured that out. But it just sort of has a, like, you can kind of drive past residential things and even commercial stores and stuff one minute, and then the next minute you're at a major national park attraction. You're not just like driving in the national park to all these things. You're kind of in and out of it a lot. And yeah, the whole park did definitely have a different feel to us than other national parks we've been to, where it was just like, we almost feel like we're in a city park, city funded park, or and you could even hear, like, we could hear turnpike noise, road noise, even when we did the bike trail and stuff along the trail. Certain sections were peaceful and you didn't hear it. But a large portion of it, I feel like we could hear the road. And so it definitely just was a little bit of a different feel than what we're used to with national parks.
I think the things we enjoyed the most were going on some of those hiking trails, seeing the Brandywine Falls.
Yeah, that Gorge trail was really, really nice.
The biking, I think, is the biggest attraction of it. Biking the Towpath Trail.
And we really enjoyed that. That was probably, at least for me, that was my top experience here.
Yeah. It
was really fun. We took the train down and, you know, got to bike back up, and nice easy trail that the kids could even do pretty well, a decent stretch, and then stops along the trail depending which part of the trail you do, like the Boston Mills Visitor Center, and you can grab ice cream there, and or if you ride further up, the Canal Exploration Center is a cool stop too if you're riding up that way. Just a really neat and educational with all the locks and the old canal system along it. And yeah, highlight for me for sure was the Towpath Trail. This park didn't have one major like beautiful overlook or mountain view, or, you know, it didn't have like those stunning sights like some of the other parks we've been to. But it had a lot of fun things to do, a lot of hiking, a ton of bike opportunity. The whole railroad through it, which is cool, and you know, riding the train was super fun for the kids too.
Yeah, history of the canal was pretty neat too.
Yeah,
riding along and you come up to these different old locks, and kind of how everything's just kind of overgrown and nature's kind of run its course around it. I thought that was kind of pretty neat and unique.
Yeah.
I'd definitely recommend incorporating bike riding into your experience of the national park.
So overall, we really enjoyed the park. It was different, but I'm kind of glad. It's nice to experience the different variety of the national parks, and I feel like we had a great time. We enjoyed a lot of the activities, the hiking, the biking. I do think this park would be a little bit harder to come to in a short, like 1 day, 2 day thing, because most of the appeal is like the activities. And if you don't have time to do them.
Yeah, it used to be a national recreation area.
Yeah, and you could kind of tell, you could feel that.
You can bike, hike, kayak, canoe on the Cuyahoga River. That's one thing that...
Yeah, we didn't get to do any boating.
But it looks like a pretty gentle, kind of nice, leisurely...
I guess you could come in a day and do the train and the biking, and that was kind of the major thing. But there's a lot of other sites and little hiking trails and things like that we really enjoyed that I don't know that you could pack all into a real short stay. But yeah, overall we enjoyed the park. I feel like we hit one of the lesser known, like this isn't one of the real famous national parks, but we had a great time. Checked it off our bucket list for the national parks, and definitely recommend a visit. I would just say be prepared. It is a little bit different than some of the other big national parks.